Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Today I'm doing a review on Effect.ai. This is a brand new ICO coming in March. It's on the Neo blockchain and it's another mechanical Turk or artificial intelligence decentralized network. Very interesting. It's similar to Gems, which I reviewed a few weeks ago, and then they didn't have an ICO. They sold out to private investors, very disappointingly indeed. And hopefully this one will be a better prospect for potential ICO investors like ourselves to get involved. So let's get down to it, boppers. Let's have a look at Effect.ai. So what is Mechanical Turk, you're probably wondering? Well, it is humans performing microtasks that computers or AI cannot currently do. It's as simple as that. Now, there are people doing this. People earn money. The biggest competitor for Effect.ai is going to be Amazon Mechanical Turk. They seem to be the biggest on the internet. Run by Amazon, centralized authority, obviously, and with all the disadvantages that brings. Crowdflower are another one. They are essentially the same as Amazon Mechanical Turk or MTurk. They're a company that crowdsources, I think they call it, workers to perform these microtasks. Now there was another one I found, Playment, again comparing themselves to Crowdflower, and of course there is the infamous Gems. Now Gems, I did a review on this about 2 months ago. They are a decentralized Mechanical Turk. They weren't going to have an ICO, then they decided they were going to have an ICO, and they royally messed it up by trying to implement a Dutch auction system, which actually I thought was quite a good idea, but it annoyed so many of their Telegram group and social media followers that they ended up not having an ICO at all and just giving all of the lovely tokens to their buddies, private investing buddies, so they could dump on the exchanges. So that's Gems. Gems have got an alpha at the moment and are currently working towards a beta version of the system. So the comparison here, the competitive comparison, is evident that Amazon MTurk will cost more to use. It's restricted as well, so people in certain countries can't use it, whereas the Effect network can be accessed in every country in the world. You can get instant withdrawals of your funds in crypto, whereas Amazon you have to wait 1 to 7 days. And the average hourly rate of a worker is more than double using the Effect MTurk system. The other thing that has gotten its advantage is obviously it's far more secure and private, being a decentralized system, than the Amazon system, which is centralized. And you can see here some of the key advantages: availability, tax value, security, payout time, and privacy listed in the Lightpaper. So the problems they want to solve have been summed up into 3 different categories. The first one being data processing. Now, data processing is expensive and very time consuming. To get the sort of data that AI needs to operate on its own, it's very, very expensive. Obviously takes a long time, a lot of information you need to collate to get the data sets. So they're going to solve that by utilizing Mechanical Turk initially, human interactions, performing microtasks, so the AI can then learn, and they can also put the client in touch with people that will perform the task as well. So the data processing can get done a lot cheaper than the client would be able to do on their own. Number 2, diverging tasks. These are an obstacle when developing a complex algorithm, and it's the need to interact with parts of the world outside the current domain. So the example they gave in the white paper is a self-driving car, for example. A self-driving car needs to learn how to steer, but at the same time, it needs to also be able to identify and read road signs. So that's a diverging task. And number 3 is computational costs. Now, quite simply, computational costs for this type of application for AI is very expensive, because developing and training a large AI is intensive for your computing power, especially for GPUs, and you will probably need a decentralized or distributed network to harness the computing power to have a large, effective operating AI. So let's take a look now at the aims and what they're trying to do and some of the solutions to fixing these problems. So their aims are to have a private, decentralized ecosystem called the Effect Network, which will be designed as an alternative to the current centralized systems that are provided by the big global giants such as Google, Amazon, IBM, and some others. So they're going to build, first of all, a microtasking system on the blockchain. They did initially, I think, plan to use the Ethereum blockchain, but now they've switched over to Neo, which is interesting, and that'll solve probably a lot of their scalability issues going forward. Plus, it's nice to see another project being built on the Neo blockchain. Neo gets more and more popular. You know, Ethereum's already established itself, so it's nice to see Ethereum taking a back seat and Neo coming to the fore, and Neo getting some worthwhile projects as well. So, you know, the artificial intelligence market is growing. We discussed some of the problems in the last section, and by utilizing this microtasking platform, they will make training the AI a lot quicker, a lot better, and also a lot cheaper. And it also means it will enable users who don't have access to large data sets or big networks to train their own AI. Also, the Effect Exchange will be an exchange with a rich ontology of specialist AI applications, and you'll be able to buy and sell these once the phase 2 kicks in, and I'll explain a little bit more about the phases in the blockchain section. As well as the performance will increase as well, because you'll be able to buy the data sets on the platform, so your performance will increase. You don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of compiling your own data sets, etc. And the other interesting thing they want to implement is interoperability between different AI algorithms on the blockchain. So they want to create a standard which all these artificial intelligence algorithms have to comply to, and then they will all be communicating with each other, and they can have this interoperability between individual artificial intelligences. Yep, it sounds quite futuristic, and it certainly sounds exciting. So let's have a closer look at the market, who's going to use this service, and how much is it worth. So I posted this Tech Republic cover story before for the GEMS review, and I think it's still relevant for this review. It follows a Turker, somebody that actually performs these micro tasks, and inside Amazon's MTurk or Mechanical Turk platform. And it's got a few statistics as well for you to understand just how big the market is for this this particular application. So it follows a lady called Kirsty Milland, I believe, and she's been Turking for 11 years, and she earns a little bit of money every time she performs a task. They estimate that there are about 500,000 Turkers on the Amazon's Mechanical Turk digital platform, and the number of active workers living across the globe is estimated to be between 15,000 and 20,000 a month. So there's quite a few people doing this, and obviously they will relish an opportunity to possibly use a different platform if it can provide more financial incentive for them. So just a little bit more about the demographic. 75% are American, roughly. 15 to 20% of the Turkers are from India, and the remaining 10% from other countries. Now, the requesters are people that actually ask for the task to be completed, like they set the work scope, and obviously prices for each task vary, and tasks vary quite wildly. But I thought I'd mention this because it's interesting to see just exactly what these Turkers are doing. The kinds of tasks that they're performing fall into several categories: data categorization, metadata tagging, character recognition, data entry, email harvesting, sentiment analysis, and also ad placement on videos. Of course, there are other uses as well. That's just a small selection. So how much are they earning, these Turkers? Well, Adrian Jabur from India says it's an achievement to make $700 in 2 months of work, and that's working 4 to 5 hours every day. Miland herself reported that she recently made $25 for just 8 hours of work and called that a good day. So the wages aren't exactly that great. They're well below the US federal average, obviously, but again, that's for Amazon Turk platform, and maybe these decentralized platforms can offer a slightly better wage, and that would be more incentive for these Turkers to use them rather than the centralized equivalents. So this other snippet that I also covered in the GEMS review is that the opportunity from the World Bank report, the global opportunity in online crowdsourcing or outsourcing, estimates that the two large microtask platforms that we've already mentioned, Amazon Mechanical Turk being the first and Crowdflower, had a combined annual gross revenue of about $120 million in 2013. Professor Vili Ledonverta, the Associate Professor and Senior Research Fellow at Oxford Internet Institute, estimates this is about 5 to 10% of the overall online crowd market, and again stresses the difficulty of sourcing accurate figures. So we can say that the whole business is worth probably a little whisker over $1 billion a year, which isn't really to be sniffed at, but obviously that will grow as artificial intelligence and these data sets need increasingly to be compiled. The demand for this Mechanical Turk will increase. It will only last so long though until artificial intelligence catches up, and then after that they're going to have another way to earn money, another solution, and that's where the marketplace comes in afterwards. So we'll discuss that with their 3-phase plan in the next chapter. So they have a 3-phase plan. The blockchain they're using is the NEO blockchain. The token will be an NEP5 or NEP5 token. They were originally using the Ethereum blockchain, I believe, but they actually moved over to the NEO blockchain for scalability reasons, I assume. But it's good to see another project launching on NEO. I'm a big advocate of the NEO platform. I do hold some NEO, and I've already taken part in a couple of NEO ICOs, and I'll certainly be taking part in this in the future, I think, as well, because a lot of exciting projects coming out on the NEO platform. Some duffers, but some are exciting, and this is one of the better ones, I think. So there's a 3-phase plan here. Phase 1 will be for the decentralized Mechanical Turk. Now, what the Mechanical Turk is, as we've already discussed, is a private decentralized peer-to-peer marketplace for work that requires human input or human intelligence. So all those tasks that I described in the last section. This is obviously going to be compiled and done through smart contracts on the NEO blockchain. As we can see here, the requester has to use the AIX token, the Effect token, to request tasks to be performed. They then integrate with the user interface, which issues the smart contracts on the Effect network, and then the tasks are completed by the Turkers or the workers, and they get paid in AIX as well. So it's as simple as that. Now the second phase will move on to the AI marketplace. Now that is a decentralized marketplace where algorithms can exchange their services with users and each other. So if you are an application owner, you can register your product and specify a price or a usage fee for consumers. So if you're a consumer and you need these microtasks done, you can use your AI and sell it to them. So that's second stage, because eventually what's going to happen is you'll find that the AI gets so intelligent that it will effectively cancel the need for the human interaction. So all these microtasks that humans are currently performing or required to perform will be null and void. The AI will be clever enough to take over and do it all on its own. But the people that own the AI still want to earn money from it, and the tasks still need to be performed, so the marketplace will put the two together. Then the third phase will be the decentralized AI, and this is what we spoke about before. We will have the different AIs on different algorithms, all being able to be interoperable and talk to each other, and basically be on a decentralized computing network, so there's no single point of failure. So that's about a 3-phase plan, and it takes into account evolution. It takes into account the possible issues that Mechanical Turk may have in the future when humans are no longer required. So it has some value longer term. So the technology now, they are going to launch an alpha. It's not ready at the moment, unfortunately, so they will get punished for that in the mark section and the verdict section at the end, unfortunately. But it is coming, and it's imminent, so I'm led to believe. So we won't have long to wait before the alpha is launched. And then I guess it'll just be a case of registering your interest to use it, and it'll be of particular interest if you're already a Turker and you want to see how it works. So the advantages of these systems over the centralized system is that there isn't a big fee to pay. So you will get more money for your work, so your labor will be rewarded. And the way that they're going to do this is obviously having a decentralized network. They're not a centralized company. They don't have big overheads. So the fee that the Turkers will get will be more than what they will get on Amazon. And they estimate something like 40% more. So that's quite significant, especially if you're relying on that for an income. Now, the infographic in the white paper here shows basically how the process of submitting a task, if you're a requester, they call it, on the Effect Mechanical Turk network. Just in a little bit more detail how it works. Now, the requesters are people that request the tasks. Workers are the people that actually perform the tasks, all these micro tasks. Tasks are the pieces of work that have been submitted by the requester, and then they're used to build a data set as well. So the AI is effectively learning from what the humans are doing as well, and then it can mimic and copy and eventually do it itself. So data sets are large and basically consist of a lot of different types of media. So you can't store them on the blockchain, so a decentralized storage option will need to be used, like BitTorrent or, for example, IPFS, which are quite common these days with decentralized storage systems. And obviously your privacy is important as well. So that's not desirable for clients. So the network must be private as well. So data sets can be encrypted, and users can be rated as well. So you'll be able to rate the user depending on the work that they're performing and how good they are as well. So another interesting feature of the Effect Mechanical Turk is that they're going to have this honor token system. So a separate token called the honor token, or HNR, and these can't be traded, they can't be sold, but these will be given to workers with a good rating, so that if they're doing a lot of tasks and they're doing them well, then they will get these honor tokens. And what this will allow is the workers with more honor tokens can apply for higher rewarding tasks and also pay less tax back to the Galaxy pool as well. So it's a meritocracy. It will basically mean that these workers are getting rewarded for their work, so that the system can't be cheated essentially. So they have an MVP already. There is a demo video on YouTube about the MVP with Charlie Shrem and the guys from Effect.ai. I've linked it in the description below, so that will be a positive for them when we come to the verdict section. So maintaining liquidity is essential for this platform to work, and the AIX token has to be used. Workers have to be able to sell their AIX tokens to get the rewards, and also requesters and network users have to buy them to order the work to be done. So there has to be liquidity, and in order to maintain this liquidity and ensure stability and stop external manipulation, the AIX token will have what's called a Galaxy pool, and this will be a central pool of tokens to provide this liquidity and stabilize the network fees, and that will consist of NEO, GAS, and AIX as well. The infographic below explains roughly how it's going to work. You have the Galaxy pool there. When AIX are spent by requesters, then they become tainted. Then only clean AIX, after they've been generated by the smart contract, the service contract, will be given to users who can then trade them back into the Galaxy pool. So it's quite a simple and innovative model, but it ensures some stability and liquidity of the token, which again, as I've mentioned, is essential for this kind of platform to work. Red flags now, and this project doesn't seem to have any red flags or scam warnings surrounding it. If you know any different, please post in the comments below. It's a community we have here, and we're trying to help each other out. So if you know of anything that I've missed, post it below. Don't be scared to do so, because every little bit helps. The more information we have about different projects, the better. So the crowd sale is in March. The date hasn't been announced yet, but it's about to be announced imminently. It will last for 18 days. The whitelist is open, however, so you can sign up. It is a quiz whitelist, so you'll be asked some questions about your knowledge on the project, etc., etc. And you'll have to join their Telegram group to take part. The soft cap for the project is 4.28 million euros. The hard cap is a reasonable 14.82 million euros. And there will be a discount of 10% for the first 5.2 million tokens sold, and they represent about 2% of the token sale amount. Minimum contribution will be 50 euros, maximum contribution 25,000 euros. You will be able to pay in NEO or gas, and the total supply is 650 million tokens, of which 40% have been allocated to the public token sale. Now, there is a little bit of a discrepancy. 40% of 650 million is 260 million, but on some channels it says there's only 252 million tokens allocated to the token sale. So a bit of a discrepancy there, don't know why. There will be 2% for the bounty campaign. There is 16% for a platform incentives, or the Galaxy pool, as I talked about earlier. And 20% will go into future funding, which will be locked for 18 months by smart contract. The partnership and advisors get 7%, and the Effect.ai team will get 15%. And both those team and partnership and advisor tokens will be locked for a period of 2 years by smart contract. Now, the price of the token works out around 7 cents US, and that represents pretty good value considering the hard cap's quite low, and the circulatory supply will be quite low as well, given all the majority of the tokens will actually be locked up. There won't be a token burn here. The unsold tokens, if indeed there are any, and I think that's unlikely with this ICO, but if there are unsold tokens, they will be put back as platform incentives into the Galaxy pool to incentivize more users to use the platform. And that's a good thing, because I think burning them is not going to achieve additional value to the token. We really want the more users using the platform, the better, and that will give more value to our investment. So unfortunately, US citizens are not allowed to participate in the token sale. You're always asking me about that, but unfortunately on this occasion you can't participate, and there will be know your customer or KYC checks required, so it's fair and legal for everybody to participate. So they are having a bounty campaign. It's brought to you by Goblin. The bounty campaign has been allocated 2% of tokens, or 9.75 million of the tokens, and that's worth around $555,000, so quite generous indeed. There is a 10% of the bounty campaign tokens available for joining, so you can register and have a share of those 10%. And then there is 15% allocated to a signature campaign, 40% to social media, 20% to a translation, and 15% for a creative campaign, of which I will be submitting this video. There are rules to follow. The bounty will end on the 20th of April. And there is a Telegram channel as well, should you choose to join, and if you need to get any more information. So I'll post the link below as usual. So good luck, guys. So there's no roadmap as such, which is unusual for a project like this, but there is a FAQ, and they say they're close to releasing a prototype. So that will be followed by the alpha release after that. And then they aim to release the beta version on NEO by the end of Q2 2018. So the team and advisory body is very strong on this project. You can see here Charlie Shrem has onboarded as an advisor, and he is obviously quite well known in blockchain and was one of the earliest advocates of Bitcoin as well. He's obviously quite well respected within the crypto space, and having him on board I would consider as an all-star appointment. Tony Tran as well, he is the CTO and co-founder of B Token, which just recently came off ICO and is now on exchanges, so he's a valuable addition. Sally Eves has recently joined the advisory body as well. Now she's a practicing professor of blockchain and founder and global strategic advisor, and she's a very, very positive addition. And Stephen Durlew is the final advisor out of the four, and he has been involved with Effect.ai since the early stages. So the advisory body very strong. Let's take a look at the team. So looking at the team, they seem to have been involved with a company called It's a Virus before. Certainly some of them were programmers at that particular company. Whether they're still involved or not, I'm not sure. Chris Daw is the CEO. He used to own a Muay Thai boxing gym in Thailand, of all places. Jesse Ises is the CTO. He was involved with It's a Virus before, as was Nick Vogel, the CCO. The team is quite balanced. They have marketing managers and also the software developers on board, as well as some other PR people. So overall, I think it's quite a competent team. The advisory body is certainly very strong, but you know, overall, it's a strong team, and yeah, there's no questions over whether they can implement. I'm pretty sure that they will be able to. The fact that they've already been involved in software businesses is a bonus for this particular project as well. So as far as partnerships are concerned, there's none listed on the website, but it does say in the FAQ section that they've had several potential partners reach out who are interested in using the platform, so that's a good sign. But they've already reached out themselves to a number of high-profile partners, and they have a substantial list, and the response has been encouraging. So they're going to release a full list of the partnerships leading up to the alpha launch, so that should be coming very soon as well. So they are well represented on the social media front. They have a lot of community support, and they have a lot of hype behind this ICO as well. This has been talked about quite a lot, especially on Twitter and Reddit and some of the other channels as well. So people are looking forward to this. The hype is building, and that's obviously a good thing from our point of view, because it should get traction when it goes on the exchanges. Important to note that they also have some code on GitHub as well, if you're looking to that as a reassurance for your investment. They will be adding to that as well. The smart contract will be available and everything before the token sale. The Telegram group has 25,164 members, which is pretty good for a project of this nature. And they also have, if it loads, 8,505 followers on Twitter, of which I did a quick audit on, and it gives it a thumbs up with a 97% audit score. So no fake followers there, or not enough to be concerned with anyway. So community support very, very strong for this project. Right, it's that section you've all been waiting for, or you've just skipped to because you don't like me waffling on and you don't care about the ins and outs of the project. You just want to know, is it going to be a decent investment, or you simply don't have time, or whatever. But for whatever reason, here we are. So this is the positives, as usual. First off, well, we have to say the low token price for this project is a positive. 7 cents is very low. Again, I like my low token prices. I always maintain you can make a lot bigger gains from lower prices. And at 7 cents, this is a bargain, and it gives it a large room for growth. Number two, a low hard cap means that this is going to go on the exchanges, you know, and probably right off the bat, we're going to see gains from this, because 14 you know, between 14 and 15 million euros for the hard cap is fairly low. With the project with the community support and hype behind it that this has, I can see this getting gains straight away as soon as it goes on the exchanges. You know, it will probably grow from 7 cents straight away. So the low hard cap is definitely something that's to its advantage here. Number 3, I think the fact it's on the Neo blockchain will mean that it'll hold its value better. Now, when I say this, what I mean is we're seeing a lot of these ERC20 and 223 tokens as well, the more advanced versions of the ERC20 token, hitting decentralized exchanges like ICO and Ether Delta, and that's really affecting their value because people are flipping them, people are dumping them as soon as they go onto these exchanges. So before the token really has a chance to shine, before it goes on to an exchange like Binance or Bitrex and has the opportunity to grow in value, it's getting dumped on these decentralized exchanges. Now, obviously, you know, I've nothing against the exchanges themselves, but that's what we're seeing now, and there's a flurry and a glut of these ERC20 tokens in particular that are going on to ICO, for example, and basically not really gaining any value, and you know, hitting there about or under ICO price. So the fact that this is a NEP5 or an NEP5 Neo token means that it's going to be harder for it just to be dumped, and I think that will mean it will hold its value a little better than a lot of these ERC20 projects we're seeing. Number 4, this project will incentivize users because there's a lot of Turkers out there. They are going to look at this project. If they can earn double what they can on Amazon MTurk, then they'll use this platform instead. That's the simple economic value of this project. Number 5, they've got code on GitHub. They're actively working. They've already uploaded some stuff on there, so you can see the team is busy. Number 6. Again, there's a real use case for the tokens here. This isn't a project that's just tacked on a blockchain and a tokenized ecosystem for their own benefit to raise money in an ICO. This actually has a real use case for the tokens. You know, requesters will have to use the tokens to buy the work, and workers will get paid in the tokens as well. So it's a real use case for them, and they've got some other interesting uses as well for tokens that can't be sold, like a reputation system that will have a meritocracy. So good workers will get rewarded with more benefits. Number 7, this is a suitable use for the blockchain technology. This is the type of thing that the blockchain is really good at the moment, and again, it's an ideal use case for it. Number 8, this has the competitive advantage over its rivals. The fact it will be able to pay more is the first competitive advantage. The fact it's decentralized, more secure, private, etc., are other competitive advantages. But it certainly has competitive advantage over its centralized counterparts. But it also has the competitive advantage over Gems. Now, Gems, as I mentioned earlier, dropped the ball when they were building up to have their ICO. They've dropped the ball, and as a result, they lost a lot of community support and disenfranchised quite a lot of the people that were going to buy into their ICO and buy into their project. So this project now has the ability to capitalize on that. Number 9, the minimum viable product is available, and you can watch the video, it's in the description below. You can now look at it, which means they're getting somewhere in terms of actually having the technology. Number 10, this has massive community support now, thus a lot of hype behind it. Again, we like to see that. Good community support tends to lend weight to a project and make it more likely the project's going to succeed. And also it means that it might gain traction when it goes on the exchanges, giving value to the token price. Number 11, what I was saying before, that the only decentralized competitor really has dropped the ball. Gems has dropped the ball, and this is an ideal opportunity for this project to pick up where they left off. And number 12, it's a fairly strong team and a strong advisory body. They have an all-star and Charlie Shrem advising them, so that will drive this project on towards success, in my opinion. So every project has negatives, and this one is no exception. However, I did struggle to find a lot wrong with this project. The first one that annoyed me was that there was no roadmap or detailed plans outlined for this project. There simply isn't enough detail going forward. Now, you know, if you've ever written a business plan or looked at a business, the first thing you want to know as an investor is what are the plans for the future. Having a 3-phase plan outlined is all fine and well, but we need to know more than that. You know, we need to know exactly what they are going to be doing month to month, even week to week. You know, what you're doing this week, what you're doing next week, when are you going to have this done, when are you going to have that done. That's all important for people putting money into projects. And this project just simply doesn't have any detailed vision. Turk has a limited shelf life as well. Now, they have a contingency plan in this 3-phase plan that they've got, but again, you know, it remains to be seen, will it succeed after AI catches up and the humans are no longer required. And number 3, the final negative, is major competitors in artificial intelligence, like Google, like Facebook even, like Amazon, like IBM. They're massive companies, they're already established, and they are very, very well financed as well. So, you know, it's a shark coming up against a minnow here, really, and that is the major concern for me, that these other companies are just bigger and better established to take on something of this nature. However, you know, I have faith that Effect.ai can provide us with a suitable alternative to the centralized competition. So, a new slide. If you haven't seen my most recent video, the token to watch on expire, I introduced this potential gain section because a lot of people are asking me. Now, I don't like making predictions where things will go, but we can discuss potential, can't we? Yeah, there's no problem there. So let's look at Effect.ai and the potential for it in the different markets. So if it comes onto the market with ultra bearish sentiment, I still think it's going to be undervalued, and I still think there's potential for it to do a 2x here. Now, I noticed yesterday Ian Bellina made a silly amateur mistake by saying when it doubles it's a 1x. No, that's not the case. A 1x is if it doesn't change. You know, and nobody says, oh, I've 1x my money when they've doubled their money. It's a 2x. 2x is 100% gain from your original stake. And I think this project can achieve that quite easily, even in an ultra bearish market, because 7 cents per token is still undervalued. In a bearish market, again, I think 2 to 3x we could see, just from the fact that it'll be undervalued when it goes onto the exchange straight away. In a bullish market, however, I think this has got the potential to easily 5x. A 35-cent token price here is not beyond the realms of possibility. And in a perma-bull market, when everything's going crazy for a sustained amount of time, I think this project could possibly see 20 times returns. You know, a $1.40 token price here is not beyond the realms of possibility, given what will be the circulating supply when it goes on the exchanges. And I estimate that to be around 300 million. So looking at flipping, if you are just into ICOs to flip and make money, this is not really the project for you. This is a longer term hold, I believe, because of the token liquidity and the fact that they're fairly far away from getting their project running properly. I still think there's a good opportunity here for flipping. You know, as I've said, I think 7 cents is undervalued for this token, so it would provide a good opportunity if you just want to make some instant money. But for hodling it, I think I'm optimistic with this project. I think the longer you're going to hodl this, certainly medium to longer term, it's going to provide the best returns. So I'm optimistic on that as well. So final verdict time. Well, I think this could be this could be the Neo ICO of the year so far. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I really think that it's a strong project. It's just got some deficiencies, and it would have scored lower had it not had an MVP. You know what I'm like about my working products and MVPs. I think they're very important. But now that it does, and the prototype's almost here, and the alpha's almost here, you know, it's got a rate high. So 4 out of 5, I think, is a reasonable score for this project. Like I said, it has a couple of deficiencies. Maybe the roadmap and the vision could be a little clearer for investors, but I still think there's a lot of potential here, and it's certainly one of the better Neo ICOs that I've been involved in and had a look at recently. So yep, Am I going to invest? Yes, I think I will. I have some NEO standing by already. I'm always loath to part with my NEO because, you know, I love the project as well. I love the NEO coin. I've been holding it for a long time, and I continue to add to my stack, but I think some of them might have to be spent for this ICO. So as ever, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes. And if you're going to invest in any ICOs, please bear in mind they pose inherent risk, and you should always do your own due diligence and always do your own research. Don't listen to YouTubers, for God's sake. Always invest what you can afford to lose, and always invest wisely and cautiously as well. Don't just dive in or FOMO in. Get as much information about the project as you can. You know, that's the key to this. And yeah, take a closer look at this one though, because I'm quite excited about it, and I'm sure that with the hype behind it, it will get some traction. So have a closer look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've got any opinions or any ideas about this project, are you going to invest? Let me know. If there's other projects you want me to have a look at, post in the comments below. I'll try to get round to them if I can. Thanks for watching, and I shall be back tomorrow. Not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I have a couple of things I want to do, but again, time permitting as usual. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.